Business, but we as Africans, we have some massive, powerful names. They found cannabis pollen in the tomb of Ramesses II. And remember, Ramesses II, for those who do their history, is one of the most well-preserved mummies or cat that they have found. That's another word for mummies, the cat. Also, you could see many different hieroglyphs in ancient Kemet, where you see them utilizing the cannabis, whether it's in incense burners or even if they're partaking of it in the form of the chalice as well. So we're talking about ancient Egypt, ancient Africa. The leaf came up a question earlier. It is the leaf specifically that is described as the Shem soup. Now what you're looking at there is a hieroglyph of the goddess known as Shisha. And Shisha is the goddess of wisdom. She is the wife of the god known as Tuhuti or Thoth, who is the god of wisdom, and he is the scribe, and she's considered the librarian. So she would take in all the knowledge of the god, and she would store it within her Akashic records. In fact, the concept of the Akashic records, for those who know that mystic, came from the goddess Shisha. And as you can clearly see, the symbol of Shisha is a cannabis leaf. And remember, she is the symbol of wisdom and information as she represents the library. There you see her with her god, the god Tahuti, also known as Thoth. Let's go back a little further, 10,000 years BC, in the cave in Japan. We already see the ancient paintings and we see the cannabis leaf already highlighted there. Pardon me, let's jump forward a little bit more. 28,000 BCE we're talking about here. Sorry, I got too far. 2,800 BCE. Shemnang in China. Shemnang is considered by the Chinese to be the father of medicine. Let me be clear with that date. 2,800 BCE. I said 28,000, my mind was just jumping. 2,800 BCE. We want to be correct with the dates. So when you do the research, you get the exact dates that I'm telling you. 2,800 BCE. Shemnang was considered to be not only the father of medicine, but the god of herbs. So you would see him many times chewing upon the leaves, chewing upon the stalks, chewing upon the barks. So within his book now, which is the Materia Medica, he speaks of the plant that is referred to as Ma. M-A, Ma. There you see Ma and the symbol for Ma in Chinese. Ma is the term that is used for cannabis. And within his book, the Materia Medica, he speaks of the Ma being good for ailments like gout, rheumatism, and absent-mindedness, etc., etc. And that is the plant known as Ma. And then now you have around 200 AD, you have Hao Tao, which is considered to be the father of surgery. And what he would have done, he would have taken the same cannabis, which is Ma, and created something known as Mafaizan, which is considered in the Chinese world to be the first anesthesia for performing surgery. So 1,000+ years before the Western world had any way to disinfect and to take away pain from those who are going through surgery, we already was doing that in ancient China. But I just showed you that at least 10,000 years before that, we were utilizing the cannabis already in ancient Africa. When we go into philosophy now, in the book of Odes and the book of Rites that was created by Confucius, also known as Shiking, he also mentions Ma several times within that book as it relates to philosophy. Also, those of you who would have been studying and following the news maybe for the last decade, several times on CNN and BBC, you would hear them speak about finding the remains of cannabis in several tombs. I mean, there are many, many burial tombs in China, Siberia, well, Russia, basically Siberia, and other places in that part of the world, Kurgan burial tombs, and the burial tombs of a people they call the Scythians. They're well known for utilizing the cannabis. So in these burial tombs now, you would have found seeds and buds, 2,000-year-old 2-pound package of cannabis found in a Chinese tomb. All of that made CNN News star. And of course, when you did the research, as I said earlier, we found ganja pollen in the tomb of Ramesses, and they found ganja fiber or cannabis fiber in the tomb of Akhenaten, although Akhenaten has never been found in any of the tombs. So you can see for yourself facts of what has been discovered as it relates to the cannabis. Again, as I said, when Priscilla comes up, I'm sure many of the spiritual aspects you will be getting into. But again, this is still history. Of course, the Vedas, the Rig Veda, etc., that has to do with the Hindu tradition and the tradition of Zoroaster, Arua Mazda. In the fourth Veda, the bang, this is what is referred to now in this tradition. The bang is one of the 5 sacred plants mentioned in the fourth Veda of the Hindus. Now, as I mentioned, bang, many ones believe that the ancient Far East term for cannabis, bang, is where you get the term bong from, like the bong that they smoke that look like the chalice. But bong is a county in Africa where they discovered several bamboo chalices dating at least 2,000 years old. And so you can see the ancient Africans from bong smoking the chalice, which people call the bong. So this is where the ancients get the term bang, you know, because we've been banging the bong for a very long time. Give thanks to the elder. So now Shiva, in the Hindu tradition, is considered the lord of the bang. Shiva, the god Shiva, the Hindu, Shiva and Vishnu and Brahma. Well, Shiva is said to be the one that came out of Mount Kailash with the cannabis tree in one hand and a manual of yoga in the other hand, which brings us to a totally different realm again. It shows you that the use of the cannabis is a very sacred thing. That's why it was balanced with the yoga. But of course, in the interest of time, let me move on quickly. So here now you see Shiva partaking in a very symbolic way the bang. There is a specific juice that is made that they call, interestingly, bang lassi. Bang lassi.